Hello there, the internet. Hope that you're all well. My name's Craig, and today I'm going to be looking at the new Amazon Echo Dot Generation 5. Now, this is the Generation 4. The 5 hasn't been delivered yet. It's supposed to have come yesterday. It didn't arrive. But according to the tracker, it is just around the corner. So I'm getting ready to do a proper test of it. Now, almost 2 years ago, exactly to the day, I did a test for Amazon for that particular device, the Generation 4, which you'll see over there. And yeah, I'm kind of wearing the same jumper. I don't get out very much. And as you see there, I had my little helper with me, Storm. And, well, I'm afraid, yeah, she's here as well. Storm, where are you? Hey, Chuck. Yeah, there you go. Good girl. Right, I'm going to wait for this to be delivered. We're going to unbox it together. They're going to do a bit of a test, and if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm also going to show you what you can do with Amazon Echo Dots with the Alexa ecosystem, because there's plenty you can do, but until you start adding things to them, there's not a lot they can do on their own. But we'll wait for it to be delivered, and I'll catch you in a moment. Hey up, gorgeous.
Hello. Thank you very much. Just
Hey, success, we hope. Alright, Chuck. Right then, let's have a look at what we've got. What's your nose? Okay, let's hope this is the new Echo Dot. There we go. Looks like a smaller box than last time. Let's get rid of that. Okay, there you go, Storm. The new Echo Dot Generation 5. Let's see if we can break into it. See what we've got. Okay, we have got the speaker, which looks remarkably similar to the previous year's speaker. That one came out 2 years ago, that did. So this is a 2022 model, that's a 2020 model. You get a power socket, and you get a tiny little instructions booklet with a hello written all over it. Lovely stuff. That's all you get. Now, a few years ago with that one, with that one you used to be able to power it with a USB port. That was quite useful, that was, because you get one of those external power banks, which I might have floated around somewhere, and you could take them out into the garden. You could take them remotely, provided you're within Wi-Fi of your router. You could connect to them from anywhere in the garden. But these, since that particular generation, you've had to have a separate power port, which is a bit of a shame. We should go back to the USB. Anyway, that's all you've got on there. Just one single USB port on there. Yeah, on that one you had a auxiliary port on there as well, but no, we just got the one single port on there. Okay, well, I'm going to power this up and set it up. Now, when you power these up, I'll show you where you set up on the video. And very helpfully, as soon as your parcel gets delivered, Amazon send you an email showing you how to install it. So I'm going to go and get this connected to my network. I'm going to have a bit of a listen, compare it to the previous generation, see how they sound, and see if it's worth the premium over the existing one. Now, that is one thing I noticed in the last couple of days, that has stopped being available for sale on Amazon. Recently it was down to about £20 on the Prime Day deals. Usually retailed, I think it was between £45 and £50, but I think that was about £55. That was, so it's about £5 more than the previous one. But you cannot buy that anymore. When that came out, this was still available, the Generation 3. And on the previous video, I did actually say that although it was slightly better, there wasn't enough improvement to warrant the price increase over that, because that you could pick up for like £15–20 on various deals. But that is no longer available. However, that still is available, the Generation 3, at some very, very cheap price, and that is still a good system. That is, I would still recommend looking out for those. They're really good, they are. Anyway, I'm going to go and set up this and see how it sounds against that one. So I'll catch you in a moment. Okay, I've got this thing plugged in, so let's connect it all up. I don't like the fact it's a white cable with a black device. The previous one was like that. Earlier generations had a black cable on a black device, but it just looks a bit odd, that does. So let's see what happens when we plug this in. It usually takes a few seconds for it to power itself up. You'll get a blue ring come up in a moment, I'm hoping. There we go, it's on, the blue ring's there. And this will, if memory serves, this should actually connect to the internet straight away if you've already got one set up. So let's wait. Usually, last time it came up in French and German and whatever. So let's see what happens this time. It's setup mode.
Hello, your device is ready for setup.
Here we go.
Just download the Alexa app and follow the instructions.
Hallo, dein Gerät kann jetzt eingerichtet werden. Lade
Had
dazu
this
die
last time.
Alexa-App runter und folge den Anweisungen.
Bonjour, votre appareil est prêt pour la configuration. Téléchargez l'application Alexa et suivez les instructions. Ciao.
Okay, all that chuntering in various different languages.
Your Echo is ready.
I've not actually touched anything. I've got my iPad open over there with the Alexa app open, and it's just been setting itself up as I've been sat here waiting. So although it's chuntering in various different languages, it was actually doing what it was meant to be doing. It's done everything automatically. That is because I've already got a number of Echo Dots set up. I think I've got about 9 of them now. Yeah, we've been collecting these for a long time, but so we've got plenty of them. And well, I'm going to go have away and have a bit of a listen, see how that sounds in comparison to that one. But as you can see, if you've got them already set up, they're dead easy to set up. If you don't have one set up, then you're going to go, going to need to download the app and set up an Amazon account if you don't already have one. But it is quite straightforward, and yeah, it's all finished going. So I'm going to listen to some music now. So Alexa, play Metallica, Master of Puppets.
Master of Puppets by Metallica on Amazon Music.
Catching a bit. That's new. You can now tap the top of the device and it'll pause the music. The old one didn't used to do that. You couldn't. Let's try that. No, nothing. You used to have to say, Alexa, resume, and she go, rabbit.
Resuming Amazon Music.
Alexa, pause. I like that. That's good because I have my Echo Dot just there next to my work's computer. So every time someone rings me, I have to yell at her to pause, and before I can pick up the phone, I can just tap it now. I like that. That's good. Well done, Amazon. Okay, I've had the last hour or so listening to some music. I've got quite an eclectic taste in music, but mainly I do like 70s, 80s rock, things like AC/DC, Metallica, things like that. Something with a good bit of bass behind it. And well, I'm as impressed with this one as I was with that one. There's very little difference in sound that I can really detect. If anything, the voices sounded just a little bit more distant on the new Generation 5 one, but other than that, very similar. I love the fact you can tap the device to pause it. That was great. That was. Is it as good as the 2-year-old Echo? This isn't the Echo Dot. This is the full-size Echo. No, it's not. That's got a big, chunky, meaty bass on it, as you can imagine, for the sound, for the size of the thing. But it's very good. I still maintain that is very good. When you listen to them side by side, you can clearly hear that these two are much better. If you find that on an offer, I mean that's sometimes around about £15 when it's Prime Day, Black Friday, which is coming up soon. It's still very good deal, that is. We've got I think we've got 8 of these, maybe 7 of them. One of them's actually gone a bit faulty, which is why I bought a new one. We've got 3 or 4 of those. This one just sits on my shelf there in my little retro corner, but they are very tinny. That was a big increase in performance to that. That was really good. That one, yeah, not so good. But those two, really good, but they are a bit of a chunk up in expense. As I said earlier on, you can no longer buy that one, so you're not going to be able to find that on any kind of deal. They just stopped selling it by the looks of it. According to Amazon, as of before I just started doing this review, it's not available anymore. So you've got a choice of a Generation 5 or a Generation 3. Find it cheap, fine, brilliant. Obviously, Black Friday's coming up, and you'll get some good deals on that, I'm sure. But I've been impressed with it. Looking at them side by side, I can't tell if it's more black than the old one or that's just got dust on it. I can't tell. But really impressed with that so far. Yeah, recommend it to the house, and I'd also recommend it over that because that is quite a big chunk up in price as well. So really good. As I've always said though, these smart speakers, they're only as smart as what you add to them. On its own, all it's going to do to you is tell you the weather, answer a few questions, and the best will in the world, the Alexa ecosystem isn't as informative, shall we say, as Google's system. It's much better on every other metric, but for answering questions, it's not quite so good because obviously Google's using the entire Google search system, so it's got a lot more resources to draw upon. But other than that, the Echo ecosystem is way better. But only until you start adding things. For example, you will get, if you have an Amazon Prime account, which is what, 80 odd pounds a year, I'm not sure what it is at the moment actually, you'll get free access to a certain level of Amazon Music. It's not an exhaustive list. You are limited to what you want. For example, like I said earlier on, I love AC/DC, but AC/DC isn't available on the free version. What I've got is a Amazon Music Unlimited Family Edition, so everyone in the family's got access to their own account on it, and that's just gone up. I had an email about a month ago or so. Hey dog. I think it's got up to about $16.99, something like that. So it's not cheap, but it is good value when you spread it across the family. And there's very little. Hello again. There's very little that I've asked for which hasn't come up. Are you after a biscuit? Excuse me, she wants a biscuit. There you go, have a biscuit. Sorry. No, I have never asked her anything on Amazon Music that she's not been able to deliver, and I've got a really eclectic mix, like I say. I'm just as likely to ask for Vanilla Ice as I am likely to ask for breakfast at Tiffany's or something. So yeah, and my dad, for example, he loves listening to people like Jake Thackeray, and he loves the fact that all these old time people are on there. So there's a real good range of music on there. And I used to have an Apple Music account, got rid of it because I use the Amazon one a lot more. But beyond that, what else can it do? Well, your light bulbs, that's the main one. I mean, I've got Philips Hue bulbs. There's a growing range of suppliers, but Philips are the best when it comes to light bulbs that you can sync up to your home system. And I've got shortcuts on my Stream Deck here, but you can ask Alexa to turn on the lights, set the brightness, so you can use it as a dimmer switch. If you've got them, you can change colour. For example, these are colour ones, so it's not a particularly dark room, but you can see that it changes through blue and purples and reds. So you can add as many light bulbs as you want. GU10s are for your spotlights, and then you've got bayonet and screw fixing ones. We've got them dotted around the house, but they are very expensive. What I'll always say is, buy one, set it up, see how you get on with it. Things like your bedside light, that's always going to be a great place to put a light. We've got the porch light out in the front. You can set it up so that it's on a timer system, or when darkness falls, or when the sun rises in the morning, it turns off and on. And they're really good, they are. But like I say, they're really expensive. And although we've got them in pretty much every light fitting in the house, it's taken 4 years, maybe longer, to do that. So we've spread the cost over a long time, but I would not regret ever doing that. They've been really wonderful. It's great just being able to walk around the house and say, Alexa, turn on this and that and the other. Really good. Always recommend them. The other thing are smart sockets, and I've got a couple here to show you. That is a TP-Link smart socket, a single one, and this is a multi-gang adapter. Now I use that multi-gang adapter specifically for Christmas lights. We've got a load of Christmas lights out in the garden come Christmas time. I've got an external socket box I can put it into. It's close enough to pick up the Wi-Fi, so when I ask Alexa to turn on the Christmas decorations, the Christmas tree in the house comes on, and then all the lights in the garden come on. That's really good. Again, extra expense, but it's how much you want to go down the rabbit hole and build your smart home. What else have we got? We've got the thermostat. We've got a Nest thermostat, so I can ask it what the temperature in the house is, and it'll tell me, and I can also get it to control the central heating. So if I want it to go up to 25 degrees, obviously I'm not going to do in this current climate, more likely to turn it off, but if I wanted to, I could get Alexa to turn it on just by using my voice, and we do that all the time. As at the start of the video, we've got the Ring doorbell camera. If someone rings the doorbell, I can ask her to Alexa to display it on my TV, as I can also with the various CCTV cameras that we've got around the house. We've got 12 Swan cameras dotted about the house and the garden, and we've got I think we've got 8 internal IP cameras we can hook up to it. So there's lots and lots we can do about it. I mentioned smart sockets earlier on. Alexa, turn on the garden. I love being able to do this, especially when the nights start drawing in autumn time, being able to take the dog out in the night time and illuminate the garden. This is a TP-Link socket sat in a waterproof outdoor box. That's great. This is the fish tank. Alexa, turn off the fish tank. Alexa, turn on the fish tank. Anyway, I've kept you way too long as it is. Echo Dot Generation 5, really recommend it. As I said for the Echo Generation 4, this is going to be the best-selling smart speaker in your home for the next couple of years. That definitely was. This definitely will be too. While it's still available, the Generation 3 is still going to be a very, very good buy if you can find it on a good enough deal. If it comes up around about 15 quid, yeah, spot on, no problem. But it's not quite as sonically good as that. It's got a bit more volume to it, so you've got much better bass. Like I said, the voice sounded just a little bit distant. So the actual Amazon, the Echo voice assistant, she sounded just a little bit further away than on the other ones. But the actual sound coming out of it, the music, really, really good. Okay, if you have never used the Alexa system before, this is the Alexa app. I'm going to show you how to set the system up, but I'm just going to have a quick run through what you can do here. On the home page here, you can set up a few macros. These are quick actions to do things like turn lights on in conjunction with other actions. On the second page along is the communication tab. Never really use this, as you can see from the dates. You can use it to use text messages and phone people, but I never use it. This is the music. It shows you all your recent music that you've played through Amazon Music. Very rarely look at that. I usually just ask Alexa to play the music rather than go into the app and select some music. So it kind of defeats the object having to manually navigate there. This is the devices tab. In here it'll list all of the devices that you've got associated with your Alexa account, and you can also set up groups. This is great for if you've got, say, 4 light bulbs in a particular room. You can put them into a group so you don't have to turn on individual lights. For example, the bathroom here, I've got 4 GU10s. I'll just say, Alexa, turn on the bathroom, and all 4 lights will come on at once. I've got multiple groups here, and you can associate particular speakers with that as well. This is our bedroom. We've got 2 bedside lights, the main light, and we've got a Echo Dot in the bedroom as well. If you scroll a bit further down, you'll find groups. This is where you can group multiple speakers into a single group. For example, we have got 4 or 5 speakers downstairs, and instead of having the music play on one speaker, you can say, Alexa, play music downstairs, and it'll play to all of the speakers. And likewise, I could group it for everywhere. I'll say, Alexa, play music everywhere, and every speaker in the house will play that particular song. It works pretty well, so it pretty much follows you around the house. If you click on the All Devices button up at the top there, you'll find all of your devices that you have associated with your Alexa account. These are all your Echo Dots, TVs, light bulbs, doorbells, thermostats, anything that's a smart device that can be associated with Alexa, you will find in here. Obviously, the more devices you have, the more connected your smart home is going to be. But to get to this stage, it's a commitment. There's quite a lot of money that's been spent on this, but it's not come overnight. This has come over 4 or 5 years of adding to this system. So don't expect to have this tomorrow. This is going to be something you'll build over time. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a new device to your Echo ecosystem. If you click on the Add Device buttons there, and then Add Device just here, you get a list of devices or indeed brands. And we're going to click on the Amazon Echo button there in the top left corner. And this gives you lots of different devices you can add, but we'll go ahead and click on the Echo device. And then it'll ask you, is your Echo plugged in and displaying an orange light? If not, click and hold the action button on your device. And from here, the Echo Dot will set up itself. It's really quite straightforward. But what about other devices? Let's add another device. This time I'm going to add a light bulb. So I'm going to go to Philips Hue, click the icon there, and it'll bring up this screen saying that you'll need to download the Philips Hue app. This is the Philips Hue app, and you can see all of the rooms that I've got grouped together. In each one of those rooms will be a number of light bulbs. If you click on any particular one, it'll take you to a list of different colour schemes that you can have by default, but you can add other ones to this. And you've got quite a bit of creative license as to what you can do there. The ones that I highlighted are the light bulbs are on at the time when I recorded this screenshot. This option gives you the option to add lights or add groups, and this is the automation. This is where smart home bulbs really come into their own, because you can set up particular automations. Say, for example, if you're going to go away on holiday for a while, you can set up automations so the lights can come on at particular times. This is really where it comes into its own. Okay, what else have we got? Back in the Alexa app, on the final tab, we've got things like the skills and games. Now, skills is what Amazon refer to as their apps. You'll need to download certain skills to be able to operate certain devices, like LG TVs will have a LG app. The Philips Hue bulbs will require a specific app. And this is where you can have some real good fun. These are routines. All of these you can see on here are routines that I've set up where I'll say a command and certain actions will happen. For example, I will say start my day, and the Alexa will tell me what the weather forecast, what the traffic is like. It'll turn on certain lights. You can really go to time with this. Like, for example, when I say Alexa Merry Christmas, all the Christmas lights will come on, and when I say Bar Humbug, they all turn off. You can run amok, just let your imagination run wild with what you want to do. It's not perhaps the easiest thing to do, but once you learn how to do it, it can be quite good fun coming up with your own little routine. So I'm going to show you how to do it now. You see the plus button in the top right corner, press that. Then we're going to enter a routine name for it. So let's put start my day in the text box here, and then when this happens. So when I say something, so I click on voice and say start my day, type that out there. You can put absolutely anything in there. Alexa will understand it. So when Alexa hears the buzzword Alexa start my day, then this will happen, and then you've got a whole list of actions that could occur, whether it be sounds, skills, something from your calendar. I'm going to add a device, so I want the what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the lights on. So we're going to put the office lights on, because in the morning I'm going to say start my day, I want to come into my office and the lights come on. So I'm going to make the action turn them on. You could have it turn them off if you wanted to, but I'm adding the lights to turn on, and I'm also going to get Alexa to give me a nice welcome in the morning. There are a number of pre-programmed options that you can get Alexa to say, or here you can type in anything you want and Alexa will say it. So I'm going to type something in there. So when I say Alexa start my day, she's going to say this to me, as well as turn the lights on. I can get it to do other things. I can get it to turn the TV on, turn the radio on, all sorts of little things like that. And that's that is my routine programmed. If I wanted to, like I say, I could add something to it, like report the weather, what the traffic's going to be like if I'm heading out to the office. Fortunately, I work from home, so I don't need to do that. And that's how you do it. And then, like I say, you can just get as creative as you possibly want. Okay, there you go. I hope that's been of use to you, and I've not bored you too much. And thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you next time. See you later. Bye-bye, still. Bye-bye.